Hi guys, welcome back to The Funny Thing Is. I am your host, Nicole Birch, where every week I bring a guest who shares with you a life-changing event, the medicine they took to get better, and the funniest lesson they learned along the way. Today I have a very special guest for you. Not only has he been my mentor and a coach for me, but he's a good friend, and he's also an AlchemE FieldSpeak Mentor and bookkeeping professional, Daniel Zimmerman.
Here I am.
Daniel Zimmerman!
I'm here. Seeing
welcome.
In person.
Welcome. I know. Okay, so let's, we usually talk about how we met.
Yes.
And so you and I met through Dr. George, which we will get into, who is a chiropractor and energy guru, as I used to refer to him as, still do. Dr. Christopher George, who's in the West Hollywood area. We met through him, right? At maybe the house or the...
Yeah, I think the house.
Probably.
That's where it started.
Yeah, it's not a cult,
right.
I promise. It sounds like we met at the house. And I'd been probably working with him for a couple years, and we all know Holly Mandel, and then she brought me to him, and she started a group through the Groundlings, I think, but not everybody was a Groundling, but it was a women's group. And Chris just had us get together in a circle.
Right.
And I remember the first session was, hey, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourselves? And everybody got like 10 minutes, and everybody it was an airing of grievances. And it was, my dad, I'm just going off of mine. My dad didn't love me, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And we kept getting together. And after that 10 minutes, Chris worked his magic. We never talked about the negative stuff again.
Wow. Yeah.
Which was wild.
Sounds like him. Mm-hmm.
Because it was such a deep-rooted, this is my identity. I'm wearing this. And I wouldn't even say a lot of us were the martyr type or the victim type. Even the strong, powerful women, we still lead with, well, this is what happened to me.
Right.
And he's like, or you could not do that. And we were like, oh.
Other options?
Other options.
What?
So there's a whole different thing. So how did you, if you want to tell me, like, there was a kidney stone thing, let's start there.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Okay.
Let's start. Well, that's what brought me to Dr. George and then you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I was kind of on this, I'll start, we can go even further back.
Please.
What changed my life, I gotta throw this out because it did change my life, is when I was about to turn 30, kind of doing that freak out thing.
Yeah.
And I read You Are a Badass.
Okay.
By Jen Sincero.
Amazing.
I'll throw her name out there. I don't know her.
Yeah.
But, and that led me to The Power of Now.
Great.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yep.
Tolle.
Yeah.
And those books changed my life. And that was the beginning of being like, you are the decider of your destiny. And that was life-changing in itself. And then so I was excited to turn 30.
Yeah.
And then, so I think a couple years after that, I think it was 3, I kind of got to this point where I was like, I'm going to take care of my health and myself. I'm going to get massages every month. I'm going to go to a chiropractor. I'm going to take care of my body, because that's what I was hearing people were doing, doing the whole full body.
Right.
So I'm all planned and ready to do it. And then I get this kidney stone, the life-changing event, which at that point, I didn't know that, but I can go into what happened that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just at work, and I remember being at work and like, something's off. And I just like in my mind, it was like, something's wrong. I think your kidney's going to burst. That's the first thing that I thought. And
that thought occurred to you?
Yeah. I was like, it's like some weird fear of my kidney bursting, because you hear like that happens and people die. So that's the first thought I had, was like, your kidney might burst. But instead of doing anything about it, I kept working, because I was like, I might not be in work for a while. So let me just wrap up what I'm doing.
No.
I remember sitting there being like, okay, if I can just get this done, then I don't have to worry about it in case I never come back. And then I was like, okay, something's really wrong. I have to. So I walked over to my friend. I'm like, something's wrong. Can you take me to the hospital? And he did. And that's, talk about emergency room experiences. I've never had one. So, and of course they can't see me right away. It's full. And I'm just sitting in the waiting room. And it's one of those things where I'm the weirdo, because I'm just like moving
holding
around,
yourself, and like, oh my God.
I'm making these noises. I'm walking back and forth from the bathroom, and they finally see me, because it's obviously like life threatening, possibly.
Right.
And so yeah, all of that to say, I had a kidney stone, and it was very large. They tried to have me pass it. throughout the night. I stayed in the hospital, and they finally decided it's not going to pass. It's
surgery.
Yeah. So I go under, and I come out, and it's gone. Thank God.
Okay. And then that led you to?
So I decided to cancel everything, massage, chiropractor. The body wasn't really, it just didn't feel like I should do that. And so a couple months later, once I recovered and everything, I was going to do the same plan. And something told me, this is where I know it's like life changing, because something was like, just look somewhere else. Because I had chosen a chiropractor that was literally a walk. I could walk there. I was being very convenient.
Right.
I was like, just check. And I don't even remember. I think he just happened to pop up, Dr. George. And you read his bio, and it's like energy, and there's something more. And I'm like, okay, this guy's speaking to me.
Right.
And it's chiropractic, and he's a 5-minute drive. I guess I can get in the car and drive around the corner. And so I did. And that was the beginning of where we are now. What was that, like 7 years ago?
Yeah, that's changing everything.
That's led me to where I am now.
Yeah. Okay. So then he introduces you to kind of, because I'm imagining when I would first go to him, I'm trying to think, because I met him in the context of the group thing first. And then it was like, oh, let me do some networking on you, which networking is, how would you describe networking?
Yeah. Network spinal is what it's called now. It's changed names a couple times, but network spinal it's chiropractic, but it's energy. What I like to say is like creation, or what do you call it? The forces of creation are at work.
Right.
And what network really does is suspends kind of the nervous system that's blocking that, and allows it to do its work.
Allows it to do its work. That's great.
In a nutshell, I guess.
That's great. I haven't heard it said that way. I like it.
Good, yeah.
Because it's always hard for me to describe, and I'm like, I don't know. It kind of looks like he's hovering his hands over me, and then I start moving, or like I'll cry, or I'll do something, and
people like, so Reiki. I'm like, no,
it's not Reiki.
This is the most feared question I had from today, because I was like, how do you
describe some of this stuff?
You lay on the table, he touches you appropriately.
That documentary,
yeah,
and Julianne Hough was in it. Yes. Her experience, I was like, I don't know what is going on there.
Yeah.
And it's like a little hovering of hands over the body, and people can be jerking around. It can look a little jarring if you don't know what's happening.
Right.
And when he does it to me, I still don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But you can, I don't know, I just feel better afterwards.
Right. You go in and you feel better. I did it for the first few months, and I did it for a couple months, and I had no idea what was happening. I'm a very mind before, and probably still now, like, I want to know what's going on.
I want the logic behind it.
I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why am I paying money to do this? But I feel better. But I keep going back.
But I want to know why. I'm cynical. Yeah.
And I mean, that's led me. I went to my first gate, which Donny Epstein, who created Network Spinal, does these gates that basically is Network Spinal, but like 5 times in a weekend.
These big events. Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, there's something more here. And I haven't stopped doing it since. But,
and Donny Epstein's just like the guru of kind of all of that. He has those. He has like, he'll do Facebook Lives. He does. It's called entrainment, right?
That's the chiropractic is called an entrainment. Right. When you go, your session is an entrainment. Yeah.
Right. And he's, I don't know, on like his 10th book or something. He's written, the last one I think was The Seeker. Like
Seeker's Code. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeker's Code. He's got so many out there. Once you started doing that, explain what AlchemE is.
Yeah. So at that point, when I'd done that, I was like, what is this? I need to do this. And I did. I do remember thinking like, oh man, I got to become a chiropractor, and you have to become a doctor first and do all the schooling. I was like, well, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And like a couple months later, he came out with AlchemE, this program, which is basically similar to what you're doing as a chiropractor, but it's more in the field. So it's you and your field and how you interact with
your energetic field, not like the field of chiropractic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. The energetic field.
Yeah.
And that was much easier. You don't have to be a doctor to.
Right. And then AlchemE lasts, how long is it? Like a week? Is it? I can't remember.
AlchemE is a year-long program. This is a year-long program. He has many programs.
I said a week.
Yeah, 1 week.
Is it virtual?
It's a virtual. There are a couple live events throughout the year. So it's a year. And there's like 2 or 3, depending on what level you take, where you go and see everyone in person.
Yeah.
But monthly, there's virtual. You get videos.
Holly did this
every month.
Right?
Holly did, and I did it with the first year we did it together.
Yeah, and I think there was something. She was already such a spark anyway for me to like get into this kind of stuff. Yeah. But there was something that happened after that where I was like, oh, she has like specific tools now.
Yeah,
and I literally say that she cured my PTSD from my traumatic childbirth, like delivering. Right. Like, I remember, not me coming into the world. Wouldn't that be funny if I was like, I'm carrying that trauma?
Yeah.
But like delivering my daughter, and it was really hard. And I did a lot of talk therapy, and I was like, normally talk therapy works at a certain point. I was like, it's not. And we did 1 session, and I was like, oh, and I can't, again, we're going to talk about the grid, but I can't even explain to you what she did in the session. But she was just like, when you think of your daughter, and for those of you who are just listening and not watching, like my hands are in front of my chest and she's like, where do you feel Everly is in your like not vortex, or like in your field, right?
Grid, yeah.
So do you feel like your arms extended? Is she up towards the sunshine? Is she like in your back? Is she in your stomach? And I can't even remember what I said. But by the end of the session, I just remember she was in like not a great place. And then when we put her into a great place, like, what if Everly was out here and like living her best life, and you're living your best life? What does that look like? And I was like, oh, and she's like, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I was just like, crying.
Right. And then the things move. Yeah.
So AlchemE teaches you all that, right? The grid, that kind of stuff.
Everything. A lot of all the terms and terminology he's created. I'm trying to think of the word he uses. Modalities.
Modalities
is all in this program. So you learn what it means. It's a lot of, can be very heady at times, but if you really, once you know that and you just experience, that's what it's all about, is your experience of it.
Right.
Like you said with your daughter, it was almost conceptual, but you didn't know that. But then you became aware of it, like, oh, she's not in a great place.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now you can make a decision, like, do I keep her there?
Right.
What do I want?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What were the 3 A's? Do you remember those?
Yes. AAA.
AAA.
It is aware, acknowledge, and accept.
Can you explain what those are?
Yes. Yeah. I hope so.
Because I always feel like there's one. Years. I think everybody's different, but Holly and I talked about it, and she goes, there's always one that everybody has trouble with, but it's not the same one. Like she has trouble with, I want to, so wait, what was it again? Yeah. You said aware? So
awareness is just becoming aware of and in AlchemE terms, and so this is kind of revolutionary in a different, it's different from coaching, where, you kind of tell someone what to do, how to be, and that's all about achieving.
Right.
But what about the you that's achieving? And so when you say aware, are you becoming aware of the energetic as it is? Just what's the strategy you're using right now?
Right. Okay.
And then acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Which is the second A. Like, I acknowledge when I experience, I keep using your example, my daughter here in this.
I like, that's the part I like to skip. Yeah. I don't like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to acknowledge
I just want
to
go straight to acceptance.
Yeah. I want to accept. Which is the one that I think a lot of people have trouble with. You're right. There's different people have trouble with different ones, but the acceptance can be tough. That's how it is. When I experience someone there, this is the result I get.
Right.
And no pushing against it. But people want to be like, but I want to change that.
Yeah.
Right now, because I don't want to feel pain.
Right.
And that's the tricky part. That's when you go back to awareness.
And get back to it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trying to explain to people, so if they did a session with you, which I've done a few.
Yeah.
So, which have been great. Let's say I come in and I'm like, oh, I'm having a hard time with my husband. Like, where do you start with that? Like, how does that, do I get to talk about it, or do you just start going into the grid and?
Yeah. Well, and you filled out a form. So usually I have a little bit more information
right
before.
and then I'm upset with my husband.
Yeah. And then where do we go from there? But if it's funny because the form is helpful, so I'm prepared because, like I said, alchemy is about your grid, and I'll answer your question. And it's your grid, your field. The mentor part becomes about still your knowing your grid and what's going on with your grid. Because if I'm talking to you about husband, and I have that in a low energy place,
right?
I have to be aware that that's there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be talking about it from my perspective that way.
Yes.
So it's still about you and how your strategies are set up.
Right.
So I have to be aware of that. And then, so that's how what a mentor is really, is witnessing something. That's what I like to say is like, how does it feel when someone just sees you?
Yeah.
It's liberating, and you can just kind of relax into like the acceptance part of it.
Right.
And so your question was, okay, so you have issues with the husband. So I will have you talk in a session a little bit to just to see where you're going, to get energy. Your posture will show that, the light in your eyes, where your hands are going.
Yep.
And this is what you learn in mentors, is just it's fascinating. Before you probably have a sense of it before you realize you take the training, but then you go like, oh, you can see where this information flow is coming from.
Right.
And how much energy, that's where the energy states come in. What's your energy state when you're talking about husband?
Right.
And it starts to show, like, just without trying, the mind wants to get involved and wants to figure it out. But if you just be with someone, it'll show.
Now, here's my other question. I remember, like, I would talk about my dad, like, early on when Holly was just practicing. She's like, you want to come over and I'll practice. And this is before I think I even had Everly. Yeah. And so she was like, where's your dad in your field? And I was like, oh, my back. And she was like, ooh. Now, is the back always that way? Or no? Yeah. So like, it's
different people. And that might actually be the first session. It could be different for people, but that might just be figuring out what so there's the internal and external.
On my list.
That was, yes. I feel like it was going there, but that's, some people draw energy from the past. Like there's no pain in it. Like everything was for a reason, and they can, it's hard for me to talk about internal because I'm more the external, but like that's where they resource their energy from.
It's from the past.
Yes.
Right.
Externals are from the future, outside of themselves. If they start with themselves, they're never enough. It's
right.
There's no energy there. And so if you're, which we've met, we know we're similar. We resource energy from future and outside of us.
Yeah.
If you say it's in your back, that is like death. Like for an external, anything experience behind you or in your back is like, feels like
but
death.
Internal, it would be like fine. It'd be like
safe.
Yeah.
That's where, like, that's when they say I'm holding you in my heart.
I think I just learned that because I've been doing this for a while, and I think I didn't realize. I knew that sometimes the back didn't always mean bad, but I didn't know it was tied to external, internal. Yeah. And that's not to be confused with
introvert, extrovert.
Not the same thing as introvert, extrovert.
Yeah.
And we do have some friends I have fewer friends that are internal. Because, and to me, they always feel stuck. So maybe they're actually externals, but they're living as internals.
Right. Yep.
Because for me, I'm like, well, just do a vision board. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do a vision board. I don't want to look into the future. I don't want to do that.
That internal person is like, there's certainty in that. They have probably control. They know they're safe.
Yeah.
And so a vision board means they have to go bigger, and that means they have to expand. And they're like, if I do that, I have to.
And I'm like, ooh, my cup gets filled with a vision board, dude. Right. Like that's where I like thrive.
Right. And it's worked for them. That's why it's great to do these sessions, even if it takes a couple, to recognize. And I was the same. I know a lot of people are the same, where we are resourcing from the past because that is a strength and a certainty to us. But is that working?
Yeah, I hate the past. I don't
Right.
like looking back in the
Right.
past.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to start there.
Yeah, I don't want to start there. Yeah.
And the whole thing as not to be like, everyone's separate. The point is to know where you start, where the resource, the energy from, and you bring it into that. So you can start from the future and bless
the past. I love that.
And
I
then
love that.
Yeah. Then they're both happening all at the same time, and nothing is separated. It's all one.
Right.
That's the cool thing. I get goosebumps talking about it. Is everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And then can morph.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what's the levels of, and for some people that are still like, what are you guys talking about? Because I'm like, I just want to, if you guys know Abraham Hicks, or you guys know The Secret, which is like, positive vibes. I think Joe Rogan talked about it. He's like, yeah, I don't believe you can just wish for something and it comes true. And I'm like, oh, there's so much more to it than that. Yeah. It's literally believing that something can happen. Your energy rises to meet that. And then it happens. And like, I've experienced that so many times. And Dr. George was one of the people like, let's do vision boards. And we started doing those. And I wrote down the number 22,000. I don't know why I wrote it down, but I was like, it felt good. It felt like it was something I could obtain.
Right.
It was easy. And I booked the only national commercial I've ever booked within, I think that month. It was definitely within 2 months. And I booked a national commercial, and my first check for it was $22,000 flat, which is weird that it was an even number. And then I wrote, ooh, okay, 38,000. And so I ended up making 38,000. It was not an even number, but like I ended up making $38,000 total for that commercial.
Wow. Those are the crazy things where it's like the mind's like, what?
And you have to be specific, because I wanted an extra 38,000, not a total of 38,000.
Right.
And I told my friend Carla, who's totally into all of this stuff. And I remember after having Everly, or like when I was pregnant, I was like, I want her to be able to swim, because my mom, my grandma, all afraid of swimming. No smoking, which I hadn't smoked, but I want to make sure that she is in a smoke-free household. So if she goes to visit my mom, no smoking, and things that are generational, like that go back at least 2, I want to break those.
Yeah.
And now she's like swims like a fish, which is great. And the other one was like, I want her to have a healthy relationship with food, which means I need a healthy relationship with food. And I want it to be so concrete that I can't back out of it. And then when I gave birth to her, I got Hashimoto's. And Hashimoto's makes me gluten-free, dairy-free. And I was like, oh, I should have been not that specific. Or I should have been more specific and then been like, in a healthy way. But it's funny how like all of that stuff that I asked for, I got in different ways.
Right. You don't know how it's going to happen, which that's a big piece, is you don't know how. You just have to let it be. And I like what you said, because there's a lot of that in alchemy too, the generational stuff, because that's really what it is if you can break that. If it's all about, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it means. I have this on my Instagram. I love this quote where it's what is it? Be the person. I can think of it right now.
You didn't have as a child? Is that
no? It's like be the person. I'm gonna look at it.
Go look it up. Go look it up. I'm gonna talk real quick. So if for people that aren't understanding, it's tied into that, where it's like how important your energy is. Yeah. And like you guys just know that anyway, like when you walk into a room and you're feeling good and you're in your power, your day's probably going to go better. If you're feeling like shit, if you're like, that's on the microcosm of it. And this is just a bigger expansion of tapping into that energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
And I had to get it right.
Yeah. I should have gotten them.
Which is what you just said, which is like, and it wasn't even like, I don't want her to do these things. You had a vision for her. You saw her having fun in water as opposed to like,
terrified.
I want to, or you saw healthy eating, and you said it right there. Like, if you want her to do that,
I have to be the example.
Your energetics are what she's responding to.
Absolutely. So, where does it come in to? Also, I'm going to ask our producer, Alex. Alex, is any of this making sense? Because I want it to make sense. The weaver.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? There's different levels, right? The weaver's the big one.
Yeah. This is, that's kind of later in the in the AlchemE program, it's the energetic influencers.
Okay.
And that's kind of what influence. Yeah, Weaver is the big one. Weaver is just like what it's the kidney stone story. It's like it's the creation, the force of creation that's making things happen. That how did you get from here to here to here to intersect with this person at that exact moment to make this happen? And
I was like the magic god.
Yeah.
I was like,
yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that's just like playing the strings.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of energy. Like when you really conceptually, it's like, oh wow. But if you really feel that, like there's a force of creation that is just guiding you. It's not you doing it.
Right.
It's like, oh, that kind of brings that like
calm, because you're like, oh, it's beyond me.
It's beyond me, and I won't comprehend. The mind can't even comprehend it.
Right.
Because that's the Weaver, and then the Illuminator, which is right below it, which is just love, but not like love to get something, but just pure love.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's the Optimizer and the Thinker, which those are the two that we're usually in. Yeah. We want to make things better. That's where the coaching comes in. And it's none of this is bad. Like coaching is not bad, and using the mind is not bad. It's just there's a cap. Right. To how far you can go. You can optimize so much and get so far, and you're like, I want to achieve this, and then you achieve it and you're like, what else? I don't feel fulfilled anymore. Why I thought I was gonna have everything. That's when it's like, oh, the Weaver or the Illuminator are like, that you're not in control.
And I think like it's important for people to know that like when you go into these sessions, it's like if you did Reiki for the first time, or you did hypnosis or something like that, it's just a different modality, a different practice to get to a place where you're like kind of optimizing your, I don't know, like your energy. Yeah.
The you that's viewing the world. That's why I say like everything that's out there is out there and happening for a reason. Of people wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't working in some way. But what I love about alchemy is that it starts with the you that's wanting to achieve, the you that's having the problem, the you. So it starts with the basis.
And what I loved about meeting Dr. George for the first time, he was not that other healers or talk therapists or anything, not that other people had told me like, well, this is how you do it. And there's no other alternative and you have to listen to what I say. Not that they did that, but it was kind of implied. Right. And with Dr. George, he was like, look, I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff and you take with you what you want. And if you don't like it, throw it in the trash. It's not for you.
Right.
And that to me tapped into the healing part of him that was like, oh, I'm connected to something bigger and you're only meant to get certain messages. And if you don't want it, you're not supposed to get it anyway.
Right.
And I was like, oh, then there's like no pressure to like have to do every little thing the right way.
Right.
And that just like helped me let go of so much of like, oh, I'm not reading the right amount of self-help books, or I'm not taking, I didn't do step 5 out of the 10-step program.
I missed it. And you do the process every day. I get up and I do yoga and I meditate and and then you get exhausted. You're like, but nothing's working. But why are you doing that?
And this gets into like a deeper, because I think I've seen you, I think we worked mostly with like Everly and Everly's dad stuff like that was coming up for me. And that probably had to do with my dad stuff and my parenting, and all that, and harboring like resentment or whatever. And it was interesting because at the end of the session, I was like, oh, I was so mad at him, or I was so mad at my stepmom. And I was able to give both of them so much grace and like keep them in the part of my field where I could wish them light and love, which by the way, before our session, I was like, that's never going to happen. And at the end of the session, I was able to do it.
Right.
And I think it might have only just been one session, and it could take a few.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, my day/life just got so much better because I was able to at least acknowledge also physically in my body where I was keeping that resentment.
Which is funny because you're probably having issues or noticed that area of your body too.
Yeah. Oh, my shoulder blades, like so tightened.
Yeah. Whichever it was connected to was probably like heavy.
Yeah. I was carrying him on my back.
Yeah.
And he's not on my back. Yeah. And he's not on my back anymore at all.
But that's what's nothing's different, but everything's different.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not, the thing doesn't have to change. It's your perception around it.
Yeah. Your circumstances are not your reality.
Which is crazy, because the people that come on this podcast, they'll share like a life-changing event, obviously. And when they share that, the reason I love having them on, the reason the whole existence of this podcast is like, tell me your shit story, the bad thing that happened to you and how you turned it into rainbows and sunshine. Because that's, or how it turned for you. Some people have like a very active hand in it. And sometimes the universe, like the weaver, just is like, yeah, I gave that to you because this is going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
And we had a guest on yesterday who, Jeff Bergman, who talked about it. And he said, it's not what you do when things are going well, because that's easy. And you can even get all the accolades and still like humble yourself appropriately. And that's even easy. He goes, it's when things are bad, do you just like throw in the towel, become the martyr, keep it with you?
Yeah.
Or do you go, oh, this happened so that I could do this now? And then like move forward.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. That changes your whole life, by the way.
Yeah.
If you go from that person to that person.
Right.
That changes your whole life.
And it can happen instantly.
Instantly.
Like, it's just as soon, like, I like that you said that, because like it's not like, oh, all of a sudden I'm doing this and my life is always perfect. I still go through stuff, but it's how, especially with the network spinal and this combined, you have the strategies. So you might first have that same reaction, like life's over, this sucks. But if you're present with that, if you just go, this sucks, then something starts to come in and it's like, and there's something, there'll be a reason. You may not know now.
Right.
But
I mean, even like if you're driving in traffic, right? You're having a shitty day and like everything's going wrong.
Time.
Like I started something off yesterday and I was like, can one thing go right? Because every email I was getting, like you have that list of stuff you want to check off. And so I would start doing it. And as I'm like 10 things down, number 2, 3, and 4 need re-edited, redone. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to check these off. And I'm like, can one thing just go right? And the gift of this practice is that my brain goes, okay, just laugh at it. Cause it's like, this is just how the day is going to be. Right. And like, let it go, because you just have to laugh at it. That's a completely different perspective than who I used to be before, which was like, oh, I'd be pissed for a week.
Right. Right. Because of that one day. The whole week is
6 days ruined.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has your life changed from before this came into your life and after? Like, who was Dan before and who is he now?
Yeah. It's funny that you just mentioned that story, because like I said, I was very in my head, very conceptual, like this closed, just this one-dimensional. I remember when I went to Dr. George, he was like, what happened to this guy that made him so like, just like the world beat him in or whatever? And I don't even know, like when he says it now, I go, oh yeah, because I feel how much more there is, but you don't know it when you're in it. Right. So the me before, like, just didn't want to be hurt. I'm an intimacy junkie. I love connecting with people.
Right.
And that was probably the biggest fear of then. So like what I really wanted, I couldn't have because it was dangerous to my field or whatever I was holding on to or looking at.
Right.
Yeah. So just
now you're like a 180.
180. Like I can just, you still have, I was just thinking about this beforehand, like you still have the natural responses, and that can be really easy to like spiral. If you go like, oh, I always do this, I always respond, I get mad right away, and I'm like, I'm always mad, I'm just a horrible person. It's like, no, the ordinary self, the way you're conditioned, the way is gonna pop up. It's just how quickly can you, like you said, for your day, how quickly can you just AAA and go, oh, okay, that's the natural response. I didn't claim anything else. It's probably because I didn't want to feel pain and things are not happening how I want it to.
Yeah.
And that's funny, because then what really clicks me in quickly is I go like, oh, is the little Dan, is the little teenager that's like, I'm not getting my way.
Yeah.
Is
now he in control?
He's in control right now. And I'm like, as soon as I recognize that, I go, oh, okay, like I could let him keep going into control, and like, well, how's that day gonna look? As opposed to like, okay, what can I just relax into? What is a great example? Someone says something about like a car accident, when you're stuck in traffic because of a car accident, you're like, I'm going to be late. It's all about me. It's all, my day's ruined. But what if it was that person needed all those people there collectively to bring them the energy needed to live for what they're needed for?
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Oh my gosh, that gives me goosebumps.
I know. And it's like, do I think of that when I'm in an accident?
No,
never.
I'm never going to look at that the same way.
I know. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
And even me just saying that, so I'm like analyzing as I go, like, now that is a seed planted in you and whoever's listening,
to pass on that message, to have an extra thought about it.
There might be a point when they're in traffic and they're like,
okay, I'm going to let go.
I can just sit here and, this is my moment where I can listen to that song I've been wanting to listen to.
Or that podcast. That really inspires me to do the next thing in my life. Oh my God, that's so brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to ask about gaps, because Holly Mandel suggested that you're really good about talking about the gaps.
Yeah. I mean, all the terms, like, this is great.
I know.
And just to say, like, this is all, doesn't even, I'll say, to learn this stuff, do alchemy. A mentor session is, I'm not going to bring up this terminology that much.
Right. It might be so mentioned. Don't freak out about that.
Right. Yeah. You're not using the gap on me.
I don't think you brought anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just a conversation and I have the tools, but just clarifying that, but they do come up, and I love this stuff. Like you said, all these words are like great because you can connect with them. But the gap is really what it's all based on. And you eventually, that's midway through the course, because you kind of got to learn the other stuff first, the energy states, the internal, external. But the gap is really contrast. Everything's based on contrast. Like I said, when I went to Dr. George, there was no contrast. I didn't know I had more. You have that feeling, so you feel like crap.
Yeah.
But you're just kind of like sitting in it like, oh, this is normal.
Yes.
And then you get the gap. That's like when you say vision board. If you have a vision board and you're like, oh, like, this is what I want and this is what I have now. And you're looking at it like, now, oh, that feels horrible.
Yeah.
There's like, I'm worthless.
I'm so far from that.
Yeah. Ugh. I'll never make it. But that's because you're looking at it from an unenergized place. There's no possible way you can be that person because you're this person. But what if
and then you start thinking about it and really feeling it.
Yeah.
Like The Secret, like when you sit, like, think about the car you want to sit in, or how you want mine is watching Everly. It's been this way for a long time, like getting out of the PTSD from the delivery and stuff, was visualizing my daughter running on the back 5 acres of my mom's yard. Because whenever she would do that, and she was like so tiny when she was first learning to walk.
I remember this. Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah. I was like, that still brings me so much peace.
Right.
Because it's open air. She's got freedom. She's safe. They're like, only good things have happened in that backyard.
Right.
And so and when I need high energy, or I need to get my energy up, I think of that, and it automatically raises and everybody should have that kind of something visually to tap into.
Absolutely. You're reminding me of our sessions now, because I think that's where that was the switch. Just now you're explaining, it brings you peace, but your focus went from you to her.
Yeah.
Probably the joy she's feeling. She's running. She's free. Freedom is
because if it was me on the 5A, I'd be like, okay.
It's like, you'll get there. But
as an external, I need it to be about
you
her.
Focus on her.
And
everything changes.
Another thing, I just want to tap into something that Dr. George said, was when I was getting ready to tape my first comedy special, I was like, oh, my energy's all over the place. I'm actually nervous for the first time. I haven't been nervous in forever. And he goes, you're making it about you. Make it about the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself the promise to the audience that they're going to have the most fun ever, that it's also going to tap into something they need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then it changed the whole show.
And it was great. Oh, you're reminding me. I just came back from a wedding.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this about me.
Yes, do it.
Not an external. I'm just kidding. Because I just went to a wedding. I was the best man and I was going to give a speech. I've done speaking. And so I know I'm okay with it, but people had done speeches throughout the weekend and I was kind of second guessing mine. Like, am I saying it enough? Is it heartfelt enough? And I walked up there and this is what's great about, if you can, when things are going great, you said this before, can you AA what strategies you used?
Right.
And I remember writing it. And in that moment, it wasn't about me. It was about my friend and his partner, his now husband, and just what they're going to feel from this, what they're going to get from it. And I have never, it was like I was at a rock concert. Like people were clapping throughout it, laughing so hard. And I finished and it was like standing ovation. Like I'm getting chills, standing ovation. Everyone wanted to like I'd run down the cheers, like cheersing each person. Everyone's like, you killed it. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, like
I was
I'm out of body.
Yeah.
And someone came up to me afterwards. It was like, you spoke to everybody as a community. I was like, that's it. I included everybody in that speech. It wasn't about me.
Yeah.
And so that I was like, oh my gosh, that's
amazing. But that's where it is.
Cool.
That's how you like tap into that.
Yeah. And it's like, who am I? You're always like, I still second guess it. Like, was it that great? And it's like, okay, everybody was telling you it was so amazing. Don't second guess it. You naturally did it.
Yeah.
Because I had to share that because that was a cool moment, and it just happened, and I'm just like, okay, what's the universe telling me, or what
from this?
Yeah. Even if it's just focus on everybody else, like you said, the audience.
Just keep focusing on other people.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you did your special and more after that. I mean, stuff came from it. So
yeah, because the first special wasn't like it was less inspirational. It was more like just telling a story that happened and like, oh yeah, something bad happened and something and I was okay afterwards. But then it let me know like, oh, I want to be more of an inspirational comedian where it's like, oh, that's more relatable because I went on a date with a celebrity. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not that relatable. And also everything that could go wrong went wrong, which is hopefully not relatable also. And so then the next one was like, oh, tell your story about single motherhood and stuff that's more. Oh, also the thing about single motherhood that Dr. George said. I was doing something and I was like, on my Instagram, I'd put like Nicole Birch, single mom, blah, 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 blah. And he knew that I wanted to get married one day and that I wanted a family with Everly and, with a stepfather and all that stuff. And he goes, just a piece of advice. If you're going to call yourself single mom on all your platforms, be prepared to stay a single mom. And I was like, and it was in front of like one of the classes that he taught at the old chiropractic place. And everybody in the room, we all went, ooh. And it was true because I was making my identity. I'm the single mom. And I think there is a way to do it if you're really tapped into your energy to not let that be your label.
Right.
But I was absolutely making that my whole platform, my whole label. And he's like, if you want to keep being a single mom, then you keep that name up.
Yeah. Because that's what the identity you took on. So if someone's going to break that, even though you wanted something different. Yeah. That's wild.
Well, and it's like, if you think about entertainment, right? The show Two Broke Girls.
Right.
As a writer, they can never make and maintain money.
You're right.
Because it goes against 2.5 men. The issue they had was like, there always had to be 2.5 men.
Right. Otherwise.
So it like lets you understand that on a different level. So like then I took off single mom and I think I met Matt like 6 months later.
Ooh,
isn't that crazy?
That's
so crazy.
That's how it works. It's those little things. That's what you call I spoke about the illuminator. That's the light of truth.
Yeah.
That moment that just kind of like wakes you up to like, oh, that is what I'm wanting. Not that you wanted that, but it was the identity you were.
And I also put Matt's phone number in my phone for the first time as a joke, and I put it under husband.
Oh.
And now we're married. So really words have meaning and power.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Gotta be careful.
Be careful who you put in under husband or wife. Like it'll happen. Let's see what else.
That story. Yeah.
Oh, what has real quick. Yeah, we still have a little bit of time. The masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
That energy, because it's not gender based. It's not sexual orientation based. It's
an energetic
energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Donnie helped me with this one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That interactive. Yes.
He's like, because as a single mom, you're in your masculine.
Yep.
And I had my friend Angie over and it was one of the Facebook Lives and I got picked to be the person or whatever.
Yep.
And Angie's like distracting Everly over, I think she was less than 1. And I'm there and I'm like, yeah, so I'm going on a date with this guy this week. And this is what I'm, he's like, right, your energy is so masculine because you're a single mom. So you're doing it all and that's great. And you're powerful. And he goes, but why don't we try to get you in, what does it feel like to be in your feminine?
Yeah.
And so I started softening, and like, then I was like, oh, this is kind of what I want. And I started speaking in my feminine, and my daughter ran towards me.
I remember this.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And then Donnie was like, you know why she ran towards you, right? Because you're in your feminine energy. And it's the mother child. It's the, and it's not because I'm a woman. It's because I tapped into a different energy and she could sense it.
Yeah.
And it changed. And it was a great date. I did not end up with that guy, which I shouldn't have. But it was a great date. And it taught me how to be in my feminine. So by the time I met Matt, which was just a few months later, it was
you were ready.
I was ready.
Yeah. He was ready for you.
Yeah.
I do remember that. And that's what, when you talk, it's not gender mixed, but you probably saw whatever father or mother in a certain way, which was connected with this energy. It's the forces of creation, masculine and feminine. They come together. It's creativity.
Right.
You totally, you probably were doing it in a masculine way, or it was connected.
Absolutely.
And not even that you're doing it, is that's what you knew. That's what you're conditioned.
Right.
That's how.
And people just kept saying, God, you're so strong. And I'm like, I don't want to be strong anymore. Like, I'm tired of being like, I get that I can do it, but I don't want to do it alone anymore.
And that's exactly, you can do it, but is it working?
No. Yeah.
Because as soon as you're in your feminine, she's here, date's great, and like things happen.
And it's like collaborative with the universe.
Yeah, it builds up as opposed to like force, and it's a lot of work, effort.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
What was one more thing I wanted to ask you?
Touching on all the
I know.
All the bits.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Is there something specific you wanted to share about it?
Oh, gosh. I feel like we covered all the things.
I did want to ask you what, or do you want to say something?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, what has coaching and mentoring, because I feel like you were already elevated enough to like get into alchemy and to learn the tools, but what has coaching and mentoring taught you? Like, how has it changed your perspective of like the world, or how has it helped you?
Yeah. So let's see, that's the field. I was like, I'm going to say this. And my answer is what you're asking, which is the, what I learned along the way.
Right.
Kind of, which is, I love the saying, and Donnie says it all the time. I've heard it before too, is like, how do you make God laugh? Tell him your plans.
Oh my gosh. It's one of my favorite phrases. Yeah.
And that just reminded, which every time I hear it, it's just a reminder. It's like, I can't hear it enough, but you just realize like, oh yeah, like, as a coach, as a mentor, we think we're doing it, and we're not. Something's working through us,
right?
And that's the humility of it. That's the delicate balance of ego and humility,
right?
Which is, I'm doing this as opposed to you're humble to what is working through you, so this person can
thrive,
do what they need to do, what the weaver needs them to do, and the part of the plan. So you're just part of a plan,
right?
And the more, and I still do it, but I think, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to be. I have to be this, and I push and I work, and I'm going to force this to happen. And that's painful. And if you just recognize like so something's not working, what's being asked of me, what's coming up around me that I'm not paying attention to because I'm so focused doing this, and let that guide. And like you said, you're going to end up where you need to end up. And it's not necessarily to get what you want, but you don't know how.
Right.
But it's almost like you almost forget what you asked for, and then it just appears. You're like, oh, I got it. But not how I thought I was going to get there and how I thought it, but it's even better than it was before. So the mind cannot conceive that. It thinks it has to. I mean, we've been taught, we've been conditioned. That's how you get things done. That's how all these people are famous or change the world. A lot of us want to impact the world, but is that really about impacting the world? Is it about solving your stuff, woundedness?
Yeah.
I just want to heal the world because then I'll be healed.
Yeah. And then the other thing, like that the abundance can come from anywhere was like, once I like tapped into that, because I thought, oh, I bartend, right? So I clock in, I can make more money with tips. That's not like a finite number. So maybe that I understood. Like that was like, okay, that could be expanded money, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only place I'm going to get money from. And then Chris and like Donnie and like you and Holly, everybody was like, no, you have no idea and like checks just started showing up. There was one that was like, from a check that I hadn't been paid from when I was a server in Kansas from like 2004 or something. And I was like, random. What? And they're like, here's $179. And I'm like, how did that happen?
Right. And you probably needed that exact amount for something. Right.
And I was just like, oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
My insurance was, how am I going to do this? Oh.
And it's like checks just pop up, or your tax return. You don't know now. Now you get money back. Right. Or like, you just don't know. I mean, it literally, I'm still talking about logical things. It can come from anywhere.
Right. And I'll throw it back to what you said before about like, you brought grace to your mother, father.
Yeah.
I was going to say at that point, and now it's even more better now at this point, is like you changing your energetic changes them. They feel something different. They can show up differently to you.
That's true.
They feel a way. They may not know it, and some people feel it, some people don't, but something's different in their life.
Yeah. Everly's dad definitely started showing up differently. But I also think, I mean,
and you see him differently.
Yeah, and I see him differently. So it's like, which came first? Yeah. It's like, oh, well, if I see you differently and I respect you and I'm like giving you love and light versus being like this mother.
I know.
They're going to show up differently in your life.
Yeah. And it's funny, your question was what other piece was, I would say is roles. Roles is a big part of it. And like, because you reminded me when you said, I'm a bartender. So bartender is this role that has these rules. Mm-hmm. And you can only live in those.
And that's it.
And that's all you get. And so when someone expanded you of it, there's other ways. You're not just this role. You can be a bartender and you can serve what the universe needs through that. You can impact people. However, it's just a distribution medium for the soul. Yeah. But you don't have to live by the rules of it.
The parameters.
You can be different. But people like to keep you in roles. And that's what the conditioning comes for, where, you know, we're conditioned as a mother's like this, a son is like this.
Right.
A father's like this, a business owner's like this.
Right.
And you don't know it until you realize like, oh, I'm living within these rules that you want to make an impact, and impact or extraordinary stuff can't happen if you're just doing what everybody else is doing.
That's true.
So that's the piece that kind of brings it all together. It's called a FieldSpeak Mentor now, because there's a field that we're connected to. And if you're connected with that cultural field of what a father or mother has to be, what's the strategy of that?
Right.
And is that working for what, what's being called for, what you're being called for?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I love it. Where can people find you to like have you as a mentor? Because by the way, you can do it virtually and it's great.
Do it virtually. That is, you can go my website's the best way. It kind of explains it, and you can contact me through there. It's www.danielscottzimmerman.com. A little long, but
that's great.
And the same thing on Instagram. It's the full name, Daniel Scott Zimmerman.
Great.
Yeah. And I'm a like you said, a bookkeeping professional. I've always kind of been in the business management and finance, but what's cool, and this is like the weaver, like, why did I learn all this stuff? And then the alchemy stuff, it's like I'm seeing how it all connects. Because I'm starting a bookkeeping business with my brother, and I'm realizing like, yes, we can do the books, but the business owners I'm working with, how do they respond to money? What's the energy and strategies around money? And if it's not great, nothing's going to change.
Right.
So how can we expand the business, you running the business, and then the books will get done.
Yeah.
That's not the problem.
Yeah.
It's the you that's
and how to expand.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What a great correlation.
Yeah.
And it's that stuff that you think that those two wouldn't connect.
Yeah.
And I think people need people will have two completely different jobs, like bartender, comedian. I mean, that's not actually that far off, because I think every comedian has to bartend at some point. Right. But like how those don't, but it's like, oh, I work out my sets there and then I do that. And then it's like, oh, well, that story inspired me to do this, to inspire more people to get out of their own shit until I get out of a bar at 2 p.m. and go do something, you know?
Yeah. It's all connected. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Do you have anything else?
I will say, if bookkeeping, I'm just going to plug it here too. Since I get the opportunity. It's the website is zlsbookkeeping.com.
Great.
ZLS is is Zimmerman, and the L is my brother's middle name. The S is mine, and it's spelled zealous because we're passionate about bookkeeping. So I get to share that story. I love how we came up with it, so I wanted to share it. But you can go to either. I'm in both, so just love to connect with people, and if they need either,
you can help with both.
I can help with both. Awesome. Just intimacy. I love connecting with people. So
great, awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. It was a joy, and love seeing you.
Good, me too. And I'm probably gonna book a session with you before I leave. Okay, guys. As always, you can follow me at The Funny Thing Is Podcast, or at Nicole Birch Comedy, or NicoleComedy.com to see my tour. Also, we have these new cute little mugs. I know you can't see them, but they're these like mustard yellow curvy mugs that say The Funny Thing Is with a microphone. These are not on sale on my store on NicoleComedy.com. These are only in sale in person after my shows. So when I'm on tour, that's how you get those bad boys. They're exclusive. That's what I like to say. Vintage mugs. And that's it. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.